feel so far away from my camera. Oh my God. Okay. It's a little better, I think. Hopefully. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I have my camera and it's very far away right now. And I tried to get this microphone to work on my camera, but it wasn't happening. So you're hooked up to my phone, but I think this is the only way to do it right now. So we're going to make it work. To everyone who commented on my last video, thank you. And for those of you who commented on the video before then, I finally went to take a look at those comments 2 years later, and there was not a single mean comment. So I feel like there's a lesson to be learned. And, you know, that's not to say that there's not going to be negative comments in the future, but I was humbled. There was definitely something to be learned from that. But anyway, it's good to be back. I'm really glad that I'm back to making videos. This video, I was debating because, you know, there was some recommendations as far as videos that you guys would like to see. And those ideas are definitely on my list. One in particular regarding finances, I definitely want to talk about. I just don't know how deep in the weeds you guys want me to go as far as like money management, taking out student debt, my thoughts on student debt, because let me tell you, I have thoughts. Definitely in the future, I definitely am going to be making videos about student debt, finances, managing your money after PA school, because those are all really big topics I feel very passionately about. I think they're important, and I don't think a lot of people talk about them. Taking out student debt is very normalized in our society, and I feel like the educational system is exploitative in the sense that I wanted to be a PA, and you know, I would have paid whatever I had to become a PA. There's only one way to be a PA, and that's going through PA school. And in order to go through PA school, you need to pay. And it's not cheap, and it's a life-changing amount of debt. So anyway, that's, I think, a whole separate video that is definitely on my list of things to talk about. But for this video, I'm going to talk about my urgent care life, kind of explaining what I've been up to the last couple of years and why I chose my specialty. So before PA school, as I'm sure you know, if you watched some of my old videos, I talked about my time as a scribe before PA school, and I was a scribe in the emergency department. Loved it, thought it was great, learned a ton. So I thought I wanted to work in emergency medicine, and I thought I would do emergency medicine full-time, urgent care part-time. So I did a selective in urgent care just to see how it was, and also to kind of get my foot in the door. Towards the end of PA school, I started applying for jobs and got a job in emergency medicine, although the hospital credentialing was going to take 6 months. And, you know, being that I live alone in Southern California, obviously new grad, I need to make money. So I started working, and my job that I got was in urgent care. The onboarding process is very brief. I did my interview on Thursday, and I started that Monday. Once I actually started working in urgent care, I realized as a new grad, for me, it was more than enough. At the urgent care I work at, now bear in mind, not every urgent care is the same, but at my urgent care, I'm the only provider on staff. And as a new grad, as I'm sure you can imagine, that was very, how do I describe it? It was a lot. It was a lot. We have support, and I could go into the specifics of all of that in a future video, but again, I'm by myself. And so based on that, and I think that might have been one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I don't need to do emergency medicine. There were other reasons too, like the hospital that I got the job at was far away, and it didn't pay as well, surprisingly, because it was kind of like a pseudo residency. And again, I can talk about that in a different video, like applying for jobs, things to look for, trade-offs you might have to make when you're choosing certain specialties, because that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, when I started the urgent care, I was like, oh, great, I have enough of a challenge here. I do enough. So let's just do this for a while. Yeah, so it's been 2 years, and I've been in urgent care, and I absolutely love it. Decided not to pursue emergency medicine, at least not yet. Maybe I will pursue it in the future. Yeah, I guess I'll go into why I love my job so much. Yeah, okay. With urgent care or acute care medicine in general, like people coming in with sore throats, upper respiratory infections, they're not feeling too good, they got a UTI, you know, very bread and butter urgent care medicine. But it kind of, it sort of straddles the line between emergency medicine and primary care in the sense that I get both. It's very challenging in the amount of medical information that's required of me to know and to stay on top of. So I'm continuously learning, studying, trying to stay up to date with the latest recommendations, the latest protocols, the latest, medication doses, all the things, right? It's challenging in that way. I see primary care things, people who haven't seen their primary care provider for literally years, diagnosed and treated a lot of things that people would normally get treated for with their primary care clinician, but because they can't get in, or it's been such a long time, or whatever the case might be, they end up at my urgent care, and I sort of at least get the ball rolling. So there's a primary care aspect to what I do, but there's also the emergency medicine side of things too, right? So I see a lot of procedures, and I also see emergency cases. And so that means I've taken care of a patient in anaphylaxis. I've seen patients in AFib and RVR. I've seen patients with heart attacks. We've had cardiac arrest patients. There's those emergent cases as well. So I get the primary care side. I get the emergency medicine side. I have to stay on top with both. And so it's challenging in that way. And it's interesting because I literally never know what's going to come in. I like that I do procedures. I have to have knowledge in both. It's not hands-on heavy or medical knowledge base heavy. It's really a blend of the two. And I see all ages in my patients. I see kiddos, I see older patients, and I like that too. Other things that I like about urgent care is the schedule. Generally speaking, I work 12-hour shifts, so it's usually 3 shifts a week. So that means I can take long weekend trips. I like that it's just 12-hour shift days. When I'm done, I'm done. I finish my charts before I leave, and then I can just enjoy the time I have off. So I feel like that's important. Another thing that I really like is that generally the patients start to feel better pretty quick. I appreciate that about urgent care and just acute care medicine in general, is that if I have a patient coming in, they're sick, I can make them feel better pretty quickly, generally speaking, and then I send them on their way. When a patient leaves, I don't really have to follow up with them again. Now, with that said, I choose to follow up with patients just to see how they're doing and to see what the outcome of their condition was. Like if I send a patient to the emergency department, I'm going to call them in a couple days and see what the outcome was, how they're doing, all of that type of thing. Because I think that's important. I think that's good to close the loop and to learn and just show your patients that you care as well. I think with urgent care, there's an assumption that you see a patient once and then you never see them again. And for me, at least in the urgent care I work at, I see patients all of the time. I would say probably about 70% of my patients are patients that I've seen before, or I've seen their family members before, because they come in often, generally speaking, because they can't get in with their primary. And so urgent care is really nice. It kind of fills that need between primary care, emergency medicine. If a patient feels sick and they don't want to go to the emergency department, they come to me first, and then we decide if it's something that can be treated outpatient or if they do need to go to the emergency department. So I think urgent care is good in that way. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think those are kind of the main reasons. The breadth of knowledge, the procedures, hands-on of it all, the scheduling. At my urgent care, I'm very autonomous. I have support when I need it, but it's just me, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. I would say that urgent care for me right now at this point has been really great. You don't have to keep it broad after PA school. If you want to specialize, you can. I personally wanted to practice medicine more generally, kind of get my lay of the land, and then if I want to specialize in the future, I can. But yeah, urgent care has been really great. I'm very lucky in the sense that the first job I had after PA school has been pretty stellar. Maybe I'll go to emergency medicine in the future, but for right now, I'm pretty good. Maybe in a future video, I can go through the pros and cons of urgent care, because there's a bit more to be said about that. And also, if you're a new grad, kind of tips that I would recommend for urgent care if you're starting out, or if you want to know a little bit more about what it's like to practice day to day. But yeah, that's why I chose my specialty. It's my blurry. I think it might be blurry. I'm sorry if this has been in and out with the focus. Yeah, if you have any questions at all about urgent care or anything else, leave them in the comments below. If you found this video at all helpful, please leave a comment. Let me know. Like this video, subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you in the next video.